Hey everyone, it's Mike again, coming back to you with coaching tips and ways to improve your leadership style and leadership effectiveness. Um, Today we're going to talk about your superpower. Um, I'm going to start by giving you an example of how I used what I consider one of my superpowers. And maybe you can listen to this story and uncover what that superpower is. So, not that long ago, I showed up down on the factory floor of the plant that I manage, and there was one of my operators kind of acting a little bit stranger than normal. Usually, this person is very happy and outgoing and so forth, but today they were very subdued. And so I walked up to this operator and I asked, "What's going on?" And they said, "Well, that operator over there, next the machine next to hers, was having a real bad day. He was frustrated. He was yelling, apparently, and losing his temper among some of his coworkers. Not in a violent way, but just spewing out vocally his frustration. So I talked to this first operator for a few more minutes, and I explained to her that jokingly, I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go take care of this situation. Let's just give it a minute so he can see that I'm here engaging with you and pretend we're talking about whatever." And I chatted with her for a minute, and I said that okay, I'm going to go over there now and solve this other operator's problem. So I walked over, and he was frustrated. You could tell wasn't happy to see me. Um, and I started asking him what's going on, and he started ranting and raving, and I I kind of stepped back a little bit and um, let him go for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then I uh, I kind of threw him for a loop. I basically said, "So how about those Dallas Cowboys?" And I just happened to know that the Dallas Cowboys was a team he liked in professional football, and he kind of looked at me like, stared at me, just looked at me, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Yeah, how about those Cowboys?" And then he thought about it again for a couple seconds, and he started saying, "Well, I think they'll make the playoffs." And the next thing you know, we were talking about a specific player, and we were talking about this or talking about that. Next thing you know, he started to laugh, and and so I kept going and prodding him a little bit about the Cowboys, kind of talking them up a little. Even though I'm not a big Cowboys fan, I root for another team when I follow football. But this guy needed his attitude changed, and of course, my style is not to yell louder than my employees to prove to them that I'm their boss. So, short time later, um, I left the conversation, and he had kind of forgotten all of his problems of the day, which were trivial, as it turns out, and everyone was smiling and laughing. And so I went back to the first operator and I said, "There, I told you I could probably use my superpower to get him back on a more level attitude and focus back on doing his job, and everyone would be the better for it." Um, the long and the short of it is, as leaders, sometimes we have to uh, use a different tactic on different people. And in this particular case, I used the distraction of a sport that this particular individual happened to love and was passionate about, to get his mind first off of his problems, which were, when he tried to explain them, were really trivial. And then, second, got him to re engage in a more positive way. Um, it seems like it might be psychology, and it probably is, but I'm an engineer. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or a doctor of any kind. I stopped at the master's degree level, so I'm no PhD. I'm nothing. I just am a student of life, and sometimes we just have to apply good practice of, listening and then um, applying a little bit of leadership logic to a situation. In this case, my superpower was to distract him from the problem and engage him in a positive way, and then circle back and say, look, can we get back to work and forget about some of these other things that everybody was getting upset about? And he actually apologized to me for ranting and raving earlier before I showed up, and it all worked out really good. I understand people have frustrations and having a bad day, but the moral to him to this story was there's no reason why he would have to take out his frustrations on the coworkers around him, on me, on anyone for that matter. Um, and so anyway, uh, that's the moral of the story. Look for your superpower when you're leading people. Find a way to get them engaged in a positive thing when they're dwelling on a negative, and I think you'll win the day when you do those types of things if and do them often. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this short little story, and don't forget to like uh, this video, and don't forget you can follow me on Facebook at Mike Huizenga. You can also uh, put a request in to join my private group on helping new managers. You can also find my website at winlifemarketing.com. That's winlifemarketing.com. Has all my information and content there. Don't forget to like the YouTube video. Go to my YouTube channel for other helps and tips. And I hope you all have just a great day. Thank you.